Welcome to the Golden Triangle, the place where Laos, Thailand and Myanmar converge. In northern Laos, the Golden Triangle Special Economic Zone was established to promote tourism and investment. However, the GTSEZ has gained notoriety as a hub for illegal activities, including drug trafficking, human trafficking, cyber scams and money laundering. At the center of this zone is Zhao Wei, a Chinese businessman and founder of the King's Romans Group. Zhao Wei has been sanctioned by the US Treasury Department for his alleged involvement in transnational criminal activities such as money laundering and narcotics trafficking. Operating with near total autonomy, Zhao Wei's enclave in Laos has become a symbol of what happens when business, politics and crime blend together. So what exactly is going on here? Let's take a closer look.
We are continuing exploring Southeast Asia, me and my trail buddy Ben. So we are starting our trip to the so-called Golden Triangle, the area of Laos on the border of Laos, Thailand and Myanmar.
We're going to an area more specifically known as the Golden Triangle Special Economic Zone, basically a hub of human misery for every type of transnational organized crime you could imagine. Everything from human smuggling, human trafficking, child sex trafficking, money laundering. Basically we're headed to an area that's sort of like a department store for organized crime.
But first things first, we need to get to that place. So we are currently in the Laotian city of Luang Prabang, which is quite far away from that Golden Triangle, so...
Since we decided to reach the Golden Triangle from Luang Prabang, we immediately faced a non-trivial challenge. Our plan was as follows. First, we decided to take a passenger train from Luang Prabang to a small town called Natu in northern Laos. From there, we planned to continue our journey either by bus or minivan directly to the Golden Triangle. We took a local train running within Laos between Vientiane and Botan, since the international train from Vientiane to Kunming didn't stop at the station we needed.
There's a lovely placard of train attendants. These four ladies working for apparently high-speed train. Such an ideal picture. I like the fact that two of them have this kind of like flowers in their head. Just out of curiosity, I asked one of the train attendants how much does she earn per month working on this train. This is the number which she typed. So she said that she earns around 6 million kip, which is approximately $280 per month.
After arriving in Natu, we began searching for a bus heading towards the Golden Triangle.
We've just arrived to the town of Natu, which is going to be our interchange station. We need to change to a bus which is going further towards our destination. So this is the railway station of Natu. It's so big for such a small town, but anyway, we need to change to the bus. Specifically to the bus which goes to that town. This is basically the town which borders the area of Golden Triangle. It's called Ton Pheung. I need 2 tickets to Ton Pheung. Yes.
Casino?
Yeah.
You go casino?
Yeah.
Oh, casino.
This one?
Yeah.
Look, can you pay QR code? QR code, okay?
Oh, QR code, okay.
Okay, instead of saying the name of the settlement, it's just easier to say casino, so people kinda understand where you're going, because that's the only place where we have casinos here. We have just found the one which goes all the way to Golden Triangle. The band is sitting in front of me, and yeah, I'm just sitting on the back seat, technically, with all of these massive bags.
During the last stage of our bus trip, we traveled by a deserted country road along the border with Thailand. In the evening, when the bus arrived at its final station, which was technically still outside the Golden Triangle zone, Ben contacted his acquaintance who worked at the King's Roman Casino in the Golden Triangle, and together we drove directly into the Golden Triangle in his car. There was a checkpoint at the entrance to the Golden Triangle manned by soldiers, and they also checked documents there. I wasn't worried about entering the Golden Triangle, as Russian citizens usually don't have problems with that, but my American friend was concerned because we knew of at least one case when one American blogger was not allowed into the Golden Triangle at this checkpoint. However, perhaps due to the fact that we were accompanied by someone who lived and worked in the Golden Triangle, or maybe because the rules had changed, either way, my friend and I crossed the checkpoint without any issues. We safely got inside Golden Triangle. We are currently in the city. Ben is currently withdrawing some cash just because here you can only pay with Chinese yuan, even though technically this is the territory of Laos. So I guess on the right is this King's Roman Casino, right? Or it is one of the hotels?
That big building right there.
Okay. Eventually, we arrived at the hotel, which had been booked for us by Ben's acquaintance, because booking a hotel online in the Golden Triangle is simply impossible. There is no option to book accommodation online on booking.com or Agoda or any other websites.
My dude came through, didn't he? Navi from the casino, a based man with a couple of kids who works at the King's Roman Casino, who I met the first time I was here when I lost my debit card, actually, which is a funny story in and of itself. Helped us book a hotel, basically. This is called the Kapok Garden Hotel. As you can see, it's actually pretty damn nice for 60 odd bucks a night. You'd pay a hell of a lot more in the US for a hotel of the same quality. Anyway, here we are in the GTSEZ.
We decided to have a walk around the Golden Triangle tonight. So time is like 10:30 p.m.
It's their, stereotypical Chinatown that is suspiciously empty at all times.
Okay, needless to say, the place looks so beautiful, but it's Friday night and it's entirely empty. I mean, there are some tourists, but very few of them. You can count them on fingers. We are going to an actual KFC, which does exist here. It's actually an interesting kind of the KFC because here they serve fish and beef burgers, which normally doesn't happen.
This is the quote-unquote spicy chicken burger of the GT KFC, as I like to refer to it. It's a bit overpriced, about $5, give or take. But it's actually quite tasty, funnily enough. Oh damn, it's a tasty burger.
Especially after starting for the whole day. We are currently walking one of the streets which is basically surrounding the main casino, the King's Roman Casino, situated over there. I believe we'll visit it later.
They're one of the most famous and controversial landmarks in the Golden Triangle Special Economic Zone, the King's Roman Casino. It is a massive luxury casino complex built in a bizarre mix of European, Chinese and Las Vegas styles. The casino primarily caters to wealthy Chinese gamblers because gambling is illegal in China, so many Chinese tourists come here to play. The casino is operated by a Chinese businessman named Zhao Wei, whose company has a 99-year lease from the Lao government over the area.
Yeah, so the place is actively developing and they're constructing new neighborhoods. That's why you can see the construction site of so many high-rises, which are probably going to become some residential area.
This is the GTSEZ copy of what you might consider to be a canal in Venice, so they're trying to channel that anyway. This has been under development for quite a while. Portions of it aren't even open yet. This is sort of like the centerpiece development of the GTSEZ. And then if you want to pan over this way real quick where I'm walking, you'll see all these neon lights over here, which are basically indicative of like a night market, but a high-end night market that has been, deployed into the GTSEZ.
Another remarkable feature of Golden Triangle is that cars registered here don't have license plates. They only have numbers such here 3884 or 2814, but there are no actual license plates.
So I guess this is the map of the currently developed part of Golden Triangle.
You've got the Tokyo International Airport, the golf course right here. This would be the night market. This is the canal that I kind of showed you that they're sort of digging through the middle of it. It's all artificial. And then you have the casino right here over on the left. You have the Chinatown right here, and then like a big ass pagoda behind that we haven't seen yet.
And this is the geographical area of Golden Triangle, so the border between three countries. There is Thailand, Myanmar, and here we go, Laos. Some of the streets have just appeared here, so they are not entirely completed and not yet open for traffic. So probably the street was building along with the neighborhood on the right.
Within the GTSEZ, there are two currencies that are accepted. You have the Chinese RMB, the yuan, or the Thai baht. Each ATM is dedicated to a specific currency. The fees are insanely high.
In the GTSEZ in Laos, the official currency is technically the Lao Kip. Since June 2023, the Lao government has mandated that all transactions within the zone must be conducted in Kip to strengthen the national currency. However, in practice, Chinese yuan is still widely used and often preferred, especially in casinos, shops and restaurants. Thai baht is also available at ATMs, but it's less commonly used for everyday transactions inside the zone. Some stores accept Lao Keep for payments, yet very few based on our experience.
We're inside the major shopping mall of the city, of the area, Golden Triangle. This is its interior. Well, yeah, exactly, it's mostly empty, as you said. Especially upper floors. Well, we should also take into account the fact that it's currently 11 p.m.
But on a
So,
Friday night.
yeah, but normally shopping malls are still closed during this time. Yeah, you see, like, escalator doesn't even work.
Out of curiosity, we decided to check out one of the 24-hour shopping malls. Yes, in the Golden Triangle, most establishments really do operate around the clock, whether it's a shopping mall, a grocery store, a coffee shop, or anything else. And surprisingly, or maybe not so surprisingly, we discovered a small casino right inside the mall. There were dozens of slot machines where anyone could try their luck. There were people inside, the machines were running, and money was being played. But the question remains, was the casino fully legal, or was it some kind of hidden, semi-legal operation?
So the time is almost midnight and we decided to check one of the local supermarkets. Let's see what's interesting can be found there.
We went to a 24-hour supermarket to check out the range of available products and to buy something for ourselves. We noticed that most of the products there were imported from China. What was particularly interesting was the fact that the prices in the store were listed both in Chinese yuan and in Lao Keep. I decided to try a pineapple-flavored beer drink produced in China. And notably, I paid for it with Lao Keep, thus disproving the myth that in the special economic zone of the Golden Triangle it is only possible to pay with Chinese yuan. Later, I tasted the drink, which actually reminded me more of juice or lemonade rather than beer.
And again, we randomly found the ATM where you can withdraw Lao Keep. So still, it's true that it's a part of Laos, so they should operate local currency one way or another. Yeah, there are some fancy cars which can be found in Golden Triangle. Even Bentley is not an exception.
Basically, these unmarked cars, no license plate, GTS-EZ. Cars that were basically imported here tax-free, that belong to the business owners of this area. The managers, business owners, supervisors, etc.
Yeah, we are actually passing by so many businesses which seem to open 24 hours, but there are no customers normally. I mean, this place doesn't need such amount of stores working 24 hours. At least it doesn't seem to require such amount of them. We just passed a coffee shop which had been working 24 hours. That's the grocery store, which sells hardly anything aside from noodles, some beer, but... Okay, it could be actually just an average grocery store which works 24 hours, right? Speaking about nightlife, it's not super active here in Golden Triangle, but you can still find some bars and the so-called KTVs. These are basically karaoke bars, which are typical for Southeast Asian region and China specifically. So we randomly ended up in one of the working KTVs, so karaoke clubs of Golden Triangle. And this is what we are witnessing. So someone is basically celebrating their birthday here. So there is a group of teenagers sitting here drinking something. There is the DJ playing music. And that's it. There is not so many people, but this is clearly like a local party or something going on here. Yeah, an interesting thing about Golden Triangle is that here you can buy vapes, apparently legally, even though they are forbidden in Laos. We just entered the night market of Golden Triangle. Surprisingly, it's quite livable. The time is around 1 a.m. right now, and more people appearing on the streets. So we were passing by this place a bit more than an hour ago, and there was almost no one. See, you can even find some fresh bakery here. Yeah, easily.
Bakery, you've got your donut over here.
Pancakes.
Croissant, yeah, your
Whatever you want.
dessert.
Even burgers are available, so...
It's basically like a sweet bun, but with a hot dog in the middle. Rather strange.
So it's like a hot dog with some caramel sauce or what?
Yeah, with some kind of like caramel, almost like a taro flavor.
So actually there are some bars in this night market, and yeah, quite a lot of people. I mean, okay, at this point this area doesn't seem to be that at all. It's quite livable, yeah.
Quite the opposite.
This is what you can expect from Friday night.
In the GTS-EZ.
Exactly. So nightlife actually exists here. It's not that at all.
In the evening, after making sure that nightlife really does exist in the Golden Triangle, we stopped by one of the local bars to have dinner. We ordered some local food and just spent time in a relaxed atmosphere, listening to loud music, watching the lively scene around us, and even chatting a little with other visitors of the bar. The following day in the Golden Triangle started quite late for us, because we had gone to bed very late the night before. Before checking out of our hotel, we decided to take a walk around the Special Economic Zone to see what it looked like in daylight. We headed straight to the Mekong River waterfront, which separates Laos and Thailand. We noticed that some construction work was taking place there. It looked like they were building an artificial embankment for future development. We also stopped by a local coffee shop and tried the local coffee, which turned out to be pretty good. Later, quite by chance, we stumbled upon an Ethiopian restaurant. That day I had the chance to try Ethiopian cuisine for the first time in my life, and I was genuinely happy about it. Even though we didn't order anything specific, the dish that was served to us turned out to be really delicious. In fact, it was probably the tastiest African dish I've ever tried. Unfortunately, I didn't get to spend much time with the Ethiopians we met in that restaurant because I had to go back to the hotel to check out. While I was away, Ben stayed and continued talking to them. Later, he told me that, according to the words of Ethiopians, they were all there legally, working and not in any kind of slavery. However, most of them didn't really say what exactly they were doing there.
Alright, so we are leaving Golden Triangle. This is the last footage of the King's Roman Casino, which we have just visited. Of course, it was impossible to film from the inside, but what we saw, it was just the basic scenery of the casino, with primarily Chinese people gambling.
By the evening, we headed towards the border, as we planned to return to Thailand the same day. In total, we spent about 20 hours in the Golden Triangle, and during that time we managed to see quite a lot.
The reason this place is known as the Golden Triangle is not because of the Golden Triangle Special Economic Zone. In fact, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that the CIA, or at least the original incarnation of the CIA, effectively set up to some degree the heroin trade that currently exists within this region. So the reason it became known as the Golden Triangle was because of the golden color of opium. Raw opium generally has a golden color to it, specifically the kind that comes out of this region. Back during the 1940s to early 50s, there was a U.S. intelligence officer that started referring to this region as the Golden Triangle after the United States supported a group known as the Kuomintang. The Kuomintang were the remnants of the imperialist Chinese army that was left after the Indochina War, effectively after China became communist. As a result, the United States started supporting the remnants of the Kuomintang that were hiding out in the mountains of northern Myanmar. Basically what happened was the United States provided the Kuomintang with weapons, arms, etc., and at the same time also provided them with the seeds and, let's say, ingredients or seeds necessary to start the heroin trade within this region, which does go back thousands of years, but it exploded after U.S. influence. So the Golden Triangle wouldn't be the Golden Triangle today if it wasn't for my nation, the U.S.
As the sun was setting, we walked along the Golden Triangle waterfront towards the border checkpoint, from where we later took a boat and crossed back to Thailand. Yesterday we left Laos side of Golden Triangle and currently we are on Thai side of the border. Currently we are heading to a massive Buddha statue situated in this town to see again the Golden Triangle, but from the perspective of Thailand. So we'll see three countries from one standpoint. There is a back of the massive Buddha statue which I just mentioned. And from here we can see three countries at the same time. So we are in Thailand, and in front of us, over here, is a part of Myanmar. On Myanmar side they are reclaiming the territory, so they are reinforcing their bank of the river. You can see plenty of construction workers over there in front of us. And funnily enough, there is the settlement which is also called Golden Triangle in Myanmar. We can see a part of it on the distance. There is Mekong River, and on the right side is Laos side of Golden Triangle, from where we arrived yesterday in the evening. There is the border crossing which we had to pass. Actual Golden Triangle is over there. We can see the newly built high-rises from this standpoint. So this is the special economic zone of Golden Triangle.
Say you have a shipment of opium or heroin that needs to get from Myanmar to Laos or Myanmar to Thailand, either one. Basically what occurs is they'll drive a motorboat out one side of the river in the middle of the night. They'll meet each other roughly in the center where the borders meet. Drugs are exchanged from one boat to another boat in the middle of the river. The smuggler from Myanmar goes back to his home nation. The smuggler from Laos hauls ass over to Laos, and drugs suddenly appear on the other side. But effectively over here, Myanmar. Over here, Laos. And where Vagabond is standing right now, Thailand.
In addition to the panoramic view of the three countries forming the Golden Triangle, on the Thai side of the border lies the famous Hall of Opium, one of the most unusual and atmospheric places in northern Thailand. This museum is dedicated to the history of opium, which was once the main commodity of the region, making the Golden Triangle infamous around the world. Inside the museum, visitors are told about the role of opium in culture and history, from its use as medicine in ancient times to the rise of a transnational drug empire in the 20th century. Special attention is given to the period when the opium trade flourished in Golden Triangle, when local hill tribes cultivated poppies for drug lords and shipments were transported through jungles, rivers and mountain trails to markets around the world. The exhibition features ancient opium pipes, packaging, smuggler tools, maps of drug cartels, and even models of opium plantations. The experience of visiting the Hall of Opium leaves a lasting impression, and the museum is considered one of the best cultural sites in northern Thailand, definitely worth a visit for those traveling through the Golden Triangle.